1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There it is. Always something. And here I thought it was perfect. Let's just make sure. There we go. We have audio now. Oh my goodness. There's just, for those of you that live stream, Jerry, you're one of them. There's so much that goes on here. Like, if you know, you got to look and you got to see all this stuff we're dealing with. We're dealing with a computer. We're dealing with switches here. We're dealing with this. We're dealing with that. We're dealing with the big TV over here. You got to have a little forgiveness. There's a lot to deal with when you're starting a stream. Anyways, let me go up the list, see who's here. It looks like we have, oh, come on, that's a big list. Wow, a lot of people started. Maker Mindset is here. The real first. Yeah, you were the real first. Maker Mindset, Jerry is here as always. Thank you so much for being here, Jerry. Anybody that has not been following and watching Jerry's channel, 3DHP, shame on you. Get over there and watch it. Jerry does some great stuff as well. Skull Army is here. Skull Army says, still can't believe that I got a roll of filament. 2 weeks ago, I won a roll of filament from Creality. Awesome. Cool. Okay. Skull Army, Jerry, Andy Visley's here. I've already said Make Your Mindset. Tintalon is here, and Betty Boop. Hey, Betty Boop. Betty Boop. And who else? Maker Mindset, I said already. The Ranch Kid is here. Who am I missing? Jack Black, Edward Rantez. Whole bunch of people here today. That's great. Cliff D is here. Awesome. Cliff D and Jack Black. Oh, I almost thought you had the same icon there. It looks pretty similar. Edward Rantez is here. I think I already said that. And I think I already said Andy Visley. And then Skull Arm is giving me a big countdown, which is awesome. 3D Experiments is here. Okay, I know I had no sound. Radioactive Scale RC is here, and yeah, Jerry's still here. Shadow Fang is here, winner of one of our more recent draws. Guy the Jedi is here, and if I miss you, forgive me. Shadow Fang, yeah. How was the talk with Polymaker after that week code? I still haven't heard back. But we did the right thing, so that's good. Jack Faxon is here. Howdy, y'all. Who else am I missing? Let's see. I'm going down the road. Jose is here. Jose Ferreira. And Raj D is here. Hello, hello. Okay, I think I've caught up. And I'm going to try and keep up with the chat as we go. So, whew, that was a mouthful. That deserves a drink of water. Okay, so last week when we left off, hey, Mark Tadgel is here too. All good in the UK. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I think Jerry J Terry 3D is here. Hey, hello, hello. So looks like we got 29 people. Oh, the draw. Okay, it's pinned at the top of this one. This one right here. It's pinned at the top of chat. The draw for the Polymaker giveaway is pinned at the top of chat, and it also is available in the description. And it is open now. I did open the entry form, so you can go ahead and enter as you feel happy. Right on, Shadowfang. That's great. So yeah, you can go ahead and enter that. I just lost my train of thought here. My train of thought just got off at the last station because it didn't punch my ticket. We got the box turtle all finished and built, and we were working on the Filamatrix, the head for my Voron 2.4. And as you can see, I have a headless printer because I did take the head off, and we were going to start on that last week. I kind of cheated. I did a little bit of work during the week on this. Actually, I did a lot of work during the week on this because really all we were doing is building another stealth burner head for the 2.4 with the modifications for the box turtle. The two main modifications on this head, which did require new printed parts. I didn't have to reprint the front actual stealth burner cover. I did. But the main parts that are different is there is a filament sensor switch in here now that senses when the filament's in here. And there is, I'll show this up a little closer here. Sorry, I got a little bit of a burp coming up. Oh, but I don't want to be rude. I'll show this a little closer here. So, and then this is the second main and most noticeable right here is a filament cutter. Okay. So this filament cutter has been added in. Okay, and then you can't really see it, but it is it's in down this side here. There is a well, you'll see it when I take this apart to put it on, and I'll show you. But there is a filament sensor, which is what this wire and this plug right here is for that filament sensor that's in there that tells when the filament's gone into the head. So yeah, so we'll see. Did I ever get the LEDs working? Oh, I got the LED. The LEDs on the front of this and the bottom do work when I run them through Klipper screen, but I have not yet done the macro or whatever the programming is in the printer config file to do this yet. That is the fact I know they're working is good, and I will just work on getting them actually programmed to work, so so heating up, printing, etc., leveling, etc., with the different light colors after we get everything up and running. So yeah, it's not the main. It's not going to affect print quality. Let's put it that way. It just makes it look less pretty when it doesn't have the LEDs lit up. So Andrew Humphrey is here. Hello, hello. Do you have to be present during the draw? It's midnight in Poland now. Unfortunately, you do need to be present. We do the draw, and I apologize for that. It is tough for the people that are on the other side of the world when we do these draws, but that is the one rule, is you do have to be present. And I'm sorry, but we do the draw at about another hour and a half. I don't expect you to wait up, but you could set a little alarm on your phone, maybe wake up and be ready for the draw. But yeah, unfortunately, just to keep it fair to everybody, I can't make different rules for different people, and I wish I could. Well, I can, but I can't. You guys know what I mean. So, custom swag. I do have I have a hat. I have DeWitt hats. I have old swag. Anyways, that being said, let's go ahead. I ran into one snag with rebuilding this that I can't do. The point in giving away stuff is so you like and watch. It helps the channel grow. Exactly, Jerry. Exactly. What if you won already? Well, as you saw maybe early in the chat, if you've won within the last 6 weeks, you're not eligible. We like to keep it fair and let everybody have a chance to win. So I have set that as my rule. That's not a Polymaker rule. That's my rule. And I do keep a notebook here of past winners. So if you've won within the last 6 weeks, we do redraw. But feel free to enter. If you've won within the last 6 weeks, enter again. That's fine, but I will check. And if your name happens to come up, we will respin. But yeah, again, just to keep it fair to everybody and give everybody a chance to win. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to take a seat and we're going to start looking at the first thing I ran into, which I'm going to, I think I can fix this, but I'm going to see, and I'm going to show you what happened, and it's to do with resonance compensation. Are you blocked? I'm blocked from entering. You shouldn't be blocked from entering, Andy. The draw is open. Let me test the link I put in chat. And if I click on that, it is opening. It's not blocked. It is open. So the link in chat is working, and therefore the link in the description is going to be working too. Why the Voron head? Why the Voron head? Because it's going on a Voron printer. I don't know how else to answer that. So clear browser cache, sometimes that fixes broken forms. True. If you tried to enter early and you got this form is closed or whatever, and you try to enter again, you may have to clear the cache for that to work. So, okay, so yeah, I put the same head on that I had on before, except with the modifications for the filament cutter, hence the Filamatrix. Once I enter your name, it says denied. Okay, we'll try. Yeah, give it a shot. It should work. Other people have entered. It's working fine for everybody, so give it a try. I don't know why it wouldn't be working. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so let me switch the overhead here. So one of the things you're going to notice, where is my zoom button for my overhead? Did I not? Oh, I guess I better open my little console that lets me hit the zoom button so I can zoom in for you. Don't you like waiting for software to open? Here we go. Now I should be able to just do this little bit of a, just like that. See? So one of the main differences is here, I'll get you a little bit closer. Notice my image up on the left is a little better now. It's not as close up of my face. So on my previous one, this is the previous mount right here for the Voron Revo. Okay. Everybody else deserted us. Yeah, there was not as many live streams this weekend, were there? I don't know why. But if you look at one of the main differences in this back thing, is you've got this little Audi. I'm going to call it an Audi. For those of you that watch Severance, you'll know what I mean by Audi, but any and Audi, yeah, whatever. You got this little Audi, which is the pivot point for the filament cutter right here. That's different on this. So on this one, you guys know what this is probably. This is my ADXL chip for doing resonance testing. This one on the previous one was mounted right there. Now, with my little Audi here, centering, being the pivot point for this lever, it takes up, like, it's like in the way. So I think what I might do, let me give you a close look at what's going on down here. And this is good for anybody that's got a head like this with a, because theoretically this, let me switch to this camera here and down here. So this part here is where the ADXL originally mounted, just like so, okay? And that's what these two holes on the Hotend mount were for, was for the ADXL to mount. So those two holes have now been taken over. The one hole's been taken over by the limit lever here. So with the cutting switch, or the cutting lever, that bottom screw there just limits how far this can bounce back. Now there is still another hole here that I could put a heat sink in for the ADXL mount. Redoing your sensors away from hot areas. This, I've never had an issue with this being this. This is about a good, when I had it there, it was about a good 5 centimeters away from the hot point. I didn't have any issues. So what I'm thinking I can do is I'm thinking I can make this M3 screw a little longer. And my only question is it okay? And I'll find out. Is it okay that if I have that ADXL sticking out a little bit further to the back? I don't see why it's not, because it's not going to be interfering with anything. So I think what I'm going to do right now, We'll put a heat inset in here so that I can still use the same 2 holes on this ADXL mount. And then we'll make this screw a little longer so it acts as a double. It just means that I'm not going to be able to tighten the top one as tight as I want because I don't want to interfere with this. You know what I'm saying right here. I don't want that to be a problem down there with that limiting, with that bolt being the limiting switch for this pivot arm. So yeah. Anyone running LDO superpowers on 48 volts? I'm getting really bad VFAs. I don't run 48 volts, 24 volts. So I think that's what I'll do. Can I get that any lighter? Maybe if I turn my lights on a little brighter. Let's see. Oh, they're on full power if I go to that. Hard to say. We'll just go there. Okay. Put a nut on the bottom. Put a nut on the bottom. If there's room for it, I will. So let's go back to the overhead, and we'll just take a look and see if this is going to be, if this is even doable. So it shouldn't be too hard to figure out. So first of all, I'm just going to grab my heat press. And then we're going to get into mounting the hot end. Thank you for the stickers. Love your channel. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Andre. I appreciate that. And I'm glad you got the stickers. Okay, let's get this let's get this one heat inset in first. We'll just heat this up real quick. There we go. I have a heat set right here. And fortunately, this whole hot end is like flat now. So I can just go ahead and put it in right like this. Just like so. Let's back this camera up a little bit. Actually, let's raise this up a little bit. There we go. So we'll just be putting this one in right here as soon as this heats up. Why are you out of focus all of a sudden? Don't focus on this handle. Focus down here. It wants to focus on this handle. Let me turn it this way. That should change. There we go. Now you're focused where I want you to be. Are you using tap or clicky? Neither. Neither. I'm using beacon probe. Works amazing. Your cure was print faster. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we're using beacon probe. Okay, are we... Oh, yeah, we're hot. Okay. There's better ways to check that, just so you know, but that's just the DeWitt way. And we're going in, we're going in. And we're good, we're in. Okay. Means we can power this off and put this aside. Okay. Stop doing that, he says, I know. Where would the fun be in that, though? Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this. We're going to pull this screw right here out. This one screws into a threaded insert as well. So see, so that one just basically stops. It's like a limit switch for the cutting tool. So this is an M38. So or an M36. So this one here, let's just see what size we got here. This is a 12, so this is twice as long. Let's see how long we need to go through the ADXL. So we need a longer one than that. That might, I don't think this will work, but let's just see. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to need a washer between this one and this one, or a nut to hold that in. So I think I'm going to go for a little bit longer on this. This is a 12. I think, I don't know if I have 14s or I'll have to go with a 16. Let's just see. Definitely have to go longer than that for this bottom one because it's got to reach down there. Yeah, okay. Let me grab a couple 16s. Hang on one second over here. Well, I'm going to grab my handy dandy kit here. There's two 16s. And I'm going to grab, while I'm here, a hex nut or two. Come on. There we go. Bacon probe. Yes, I'm running the bacon probe. Okay, so here's the 16s. I really got to move this other overhead camera down there, just a little bit down that way. That's better. So if I put a 16 in the top here, okay, so now what I'm going to do is put a 16 in here. And we're going to take that nut that I just took out as well. And I'll thread this nut onto here. Okay, let's see if I can actually make this work in theory. It works in concept. And no, actually, no, the other way around. It works in theory, but we'll see if it actually works in concept. So, nope. Okay, what's happening here is the ADXL mount is now interfering with the limit switch, with the cutting arm right in here, right in this little, right there. It's interfering right in the corner right there. So much for that idea. So what we will do is we won't let that stop progress. You can't stop progress when progress is in play. I will worry about the ADXL mount at another time. I may have to basically re-engineer that ADXL mount. There might be another, there we go, we'll get that back in place here. There might be another option for an ADXL mount for the with the cutter on here. Or I may just be able to mount the ADXL mount with a single mount, but well, that's a possibility too, right? So let's just see. Sand it a bit. Yeah, sand it or cut it. Or if I mount it with a single mount, because it doesn't get used under a lot of pressure. Now these things are real easy to print. So what we're going to do, we're going to do something really foolish here, but something that can easily be undone. Because we do have 3D printers, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to right. Well, that was easier than I thought. I'm going to cut that, and then I can mount that guy right on here. Now I don't want to get too much swivel, but if I get a little bit of swivel, let's just see how far this goes. Okay. And let's just see what this does. And I can tighten it down tight enough without too much swivel. It might just do the job. Let's just see. Now, if I can get the hole, if I can get it in the hole, then that will, there we go. That helps. And there. Now, see, that's not bad. There's no, I can't move that with my hands. I've got that tightened in really good. So that might just work fine. My cutting arm works fine. I think that's going to be fine right there for my ADXL mount. I think that's going to be just fine. For those of you that want a closer look up, there we go. And it's just got the single screw mounting it in there, and I've tightened it to the point where, whoops, where it's going to work just fine. There we go. Okay, we'll just give another snug tight down. There we go. That is not going to move unless there's some major earthquake type vibration happening. So problem solved. Okay, there we go. Just touch the soldering iron to see if it was cooled down, and it was. It's swell. It is swell. It'll work fine. Under V 2.4, 60 degrees and 200 millimeters per second gets rid of them. I'm trying. Oh, you guys are still talking about your VFAs. What does the ADXL do, Raj asks? The ADXL measures, it does what's called resonance testing. So I have a wire that hooks up to the ADXL, and then you do what's called a resonance test. And basically what it does is it sends vibrations to the X and Y axis from, I think, 5 kilohertz all the way up to 120 or... Anyways, what it does is it measures the vibration of your printer along your X and Y axis. When you do the calibration, you're going to hear your printer's literally, you're not going to see it so much, but it's going to shake at different vibrations. It goes, and then what it does is that it sends that to the firmware or to your config file. And as your printer's printing, it knows what vibrations it's going to be getting while it's printing, and it's going to compensate for those vibrations as you're printing, and it'll take away. It's supposed to help take away ringing, or there's another name people call ringing, banding or something like that. So, yeah, and it actually makes a huge difference. So, yeah, but it basically, it compensates for compensates for resonations in your axes. I probably explained that way wrong, but that's the way I understand it. All your newer printers these days, these Core XYs are coming out, Bamboos, the Creality Core XYs, they all have automatic vibration compensation built in. They all do the same thing during the calibration process. No problem, Raj, anytime. Okay, so let's pop this apart so we can put it in the printer. And then I've got to find, as I say, right here is where we have the connection for the filament sensor, and I've got to find where that connection on the other end is coming out and where I put that in, etc. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I just put this together to check for fit. So we'll just pop this apart right now. It won't be a big deal. These ones aren't screwed in. These are just in place. Okay. Here, I'll do this so you can actually get a bird's eye view of this thing being taken apart. Maybe black wasn't the best color to do this in because it's hard to see on camera, but that's okay. So we'll just pop this apart. More like a low pass filter than a compensation. Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. It compensates, it basically allows, it takes in mind vibration in your printer as it's laying down the filament. I have no idea the math and everything behind it, but hey. So we'll pop this off. Okay, so this is just your standard stealth burner head. Okay, we have the fan in top, we have the fan in the bottom, we have our LEDs on the side, and then we have the board which connects everything via this plug to the rest of the printer. So this is just your standard. This is exactly the way it was in my other one. So all I did was transfer it to this new printed model. Okay, bottom one is our heater fan, or our hot end fan to keep the hot end cool, and the top one is our part cooling fan. Hey, thank you, Jerry. Only 19 likes, 40. It's free to like the stream, and it's also free to subscribe. Okay, so here's our two components here. So here is where this is right in here. You can kind of see where those two wires are coming from up here. And right in here where these two little screws right here are holding in the micro switch, and the micro switch is down there, which is riding on a little ball bearing. So what happens is when you put the filament, when you put a piece of filament in to the hot end, right about there, it triggers the ball bearing, which triggers that micro switch. I don't know if you can hear that. Hang on. Kind of hear it. Triggers that micro switch, and it says, okay, there's filament in there. It's all to do with the cutting tool. So when there's filament in there and it knows the filament's in there to cut, it's going to cut it and do whatever it does. I have no idea the sequences behind it, the program behind it yet, but we're going to find that out. So that's the one change in there. And as you see on here, there is the cutting blade. So the cutting blade basically stays nice and flat like that. And then when it is triggered, obviously, it's going to be triggered, and boom, it's going to cut your filament. And it'll stay down when the other part's on it. But so it gets triggered, and it cuts the filament. So that's your filament knife right there. Be very accurate with your, when I first cut it, it was a little too long. It was sticking over the hole. Right now, it's just almost exact length it needs to be. And then that just mounts in here with a, there's a spring. You can just barely see the spring in there. Right in there, you can see a spring, and that's what's going to bring that thing back out to the limit. So there we go. Those are the two main differences. Those are the two main differences that were made to the Stealth Burner Hotend. So I can recycle these. Those are my old Revo Hotend mounts. And as you see, we've got the new Revo in here. That's the Revo in there, or the yeah, the Voron Revo, which has been used a fair bit, and it's a nice little Hotend. Okay, so now we're going to mount this back on the machine, and then there's another addition that we have to mount on the machine, which is this little guy right here. And this is going to mount in such a way, and I'm going from memory reading the instructions. This is going to mount in such a way on the side rail. This is going to mount on the Y rail, okay? And basically what's going to happen is the hot end is going to come along. And when the hot end comes on, it's going to move over, which is going to cause that to push onto there and cut your filament. Okay, so obviously this height and left and right, and the X and Y of this has to be, or sorry, that's going to be the Y of this, and the Z of this has to be adjusted. There's going to be a little bit of playing around to get it to adjust so that it hits in that actual spot. There's a little indent in this handle here where that ball-headed screw, if you want to call it that, hits that and actually pushes that in. So why are we flush cutting? Why are we flush cutting what? What did I flush cut? I didn't flush cut anything. I did flush cut my whatever. Oh, I'm not going there because flush cutting scares me because I've cut my hand flush cutting before. So anyways, let's go ahead. I am going to move this other camera around to give you guys a view of what I'm doing inside the printer. So let's just do that and get that ready. And there we go. That should be good. My hands will get in the way a little bit here, but that's all right. I think you'll forgive me. Now I just got to remember which screws are what. Now I'm just going to go, one thing I'm going to double check here first is I'm going to, man, I got all sorts of crap on my mouse feet. I'm just going to open up, I'm sure one of these windows has my BoxTurtle installation instructions in it, but I must have closed it. So I'm just going to open that just to make sure I'm not missing out on anything in the instructions before we mount the head. Okay, let's just open that up. Okay, so here we are. I'm just going to, this is the, oh, we want the Filamatrix. So we'll just zip through this. We've done all of this. This was all, and again, most of this is, and the reason I didn't worry about streaming this part live was because if you've seen somebody build a hot end, or you can always go look at somebody building a hot end for a stealth burner, and it's almost identical. As I say, other than a couple of the parts. So there's the part here where you put that ball bearing in. Here, let me change the primary color of this. It'll be easier to see. There you go. So you put the ball bearing in, and then there's that micro switch that went in with the two screws that held it in that I told you. And then, of course, I had to solder wire the two outside wires on there that tell the switch when it's activated, etc. So, okay, everything else, this was the same. This is all the same as you do in a stealth burner. Okay, everything here until you get up to, then you put your hot end in, boom, and here's where it changes again, is where you're going to cut your 26 millimeter length on your blade. You're going to put your blade in the blade holder, and you're going to put your little blade cutting arm, mount that into the blade holder cutting arm. Pretty simple. Put the spring in, screw that in there, and then you're off to the races here. That's your, of course, your limit, your retaining screw right here that tells it not to go back so far. And then now you have that cutting action I was showing you, and now you're just dealing with the regular stealth burner hot end again. Okay, and then this is going to be our little limit switch that I said we put on the Z rail, which is going to determine where your hot end is going to go to do the actual cutting. And that's it. that's the end of the Filamatrix manual. And the rest is now installing it like a regular stealth burner hot end on a Voron. So yeah, so you didn't miss much by me not streaming building most of that hot end. As I say, I've done about 5 stealth burner hot ends in the past, which you can actually look up, and there's hundreds of videos out there of people building these hot ends. So there we go. Zombie Hedgehog, hello, welcome. Who else is here? Oh, thanks for pushing that link there, Jerry. And Jerry just posted a link to the assembly manual for the Filamatrix and for the armored turtle, the whole thing, and nothing but the whole thing. Kenneth Davis is here too. Howdy, Kenneth Davis. Those of you who just got here, pinned at the top of the chat, over here, pinned at the top of the chat is a link to enter your Polymaker draw for some free Polymaker stuff. And also there's a link in the description as well, where you can go and enter the form. And we're going to be doing a draw in about an hour. Okay, so let's get over here. Let's switch to this camera right here. Now we're going to be mounting. Now, I haven't done this in a while, so I have to remember the order of operation for mounting the hot end. So I do believe I'm going to put the extruder on first, which is going up right around there, like this. So the extruder is going to go on like so. And those screws are, so I got some wires in the way here from this other one that are blocking my little hole here. So I'm just going to move them out of the way for a second till I get this bottom screw in. And I believe those are M36s that I put in there, or M312s. We'll figure that out. I did not remember the order of operation I put them in. Okay, so you're going to just pop in there. And I think it's these M312s. We'll find out real quick here. Let me just move this over. Oh, make sure I am powered off. That's one thing I want to make sure I don't have my power on right now. This might be too long. Oh, no, that'll work. That works. And the other side, probably the same thing. I could probably get away with an 8, but we'll put the same length in anyways. That's probably what came out of it. You use the Filamatrix with in and out extruder filament sensors. Do you have any limitation on using just the in sensor, or is it that default on the BoxTurtle manual? That was the default on the BoxTurtle, was just the single sensor. On the Filamatrix portion of the build anyways, it just gave me a single sensor to put in. At least, yeah, that's the only one I saw. And you are not going in at all. Am I missing the hole? Oh, let me just get in here and make sure that's seated properly. There we go. I think I bit some thread now. There we go. Okay, there's the extruder mounted. Looks about right. Okay. Now I'm just going to tuck these wires back in here. These are the wires for the filament sensor that's in there. Just tuck them in a little bit because I got to get some hot end wires through here next. So now this guy is going to come in and up. Like so. And then I need, how long are these screws? I think these are the longer ones. I think these are the ones they told me to use 20s for. I'm just going to check one thing in the manual here because they did mention something. Yeah. Oh, okay. That one there. So that's the other change right here. They did mention here to use M3x20s instead of the standard M3x25s for this particular portion of the mount. Yeah, that's one difference they said to do here, but I believe these are the correct ones. Let's just see where we're going. Okay, now I've got to plug in. Now I'm just going to plug in the hot end and the thermistor wire here. I should have taken these doors off so I could get the camera around. But as I say, that's part of the standard Voron build, is plugging these in. I can't get you any better a view here. This is always a pain in the butt for me, this part, getting these wires in, because there's such a tiny space here. Look at that. Hot end, the thermostat wire's in already. And let's get the hot end, the heater wire. And I struggle with those normally. They just went in real easy right there. Look at that. There we go. Okay. Now I'm ready to put, and I've already got my my beacon sensor is already mounted in the back. It's part of the primary mount that's on there. Hey Mark, how are you? Good evening. Am I actually going to demonstrate the system after it's all done? Yes, I am. Once I get it running, yes, I am. It might take me 6 weeks to get the firmware working, but I am going to demonstrate it when it's all done. Yes. Okay. Now we get to mount. And this is where you got to be careful lining up this plug with these pins, because we don't want to bend any pins. I should have taken this one door off because it's a pain in the butt, but we'll make this work. There we go. Okay. Cutters, nothing's interfering. Okay, and I believe it was these two here. They said M320s versus M325s. Just going to make sure those are my 20s. So these go in here. And another one goes right over here. No BTT, no me. No. Oh, yay. Death Cube. That one's in there. Death Cube. Hold my beer. I think that's what they say. If I look very hard, nah, I don't know where it went to. Honestly, don't know where I put it. I have one. I have a Nomi. I don't know where I put it. And what he's talking about is it's a screen that goes in here. It goes in. I believe that you have to do a different print for the cover, and it's a Big Tree Tech Nomi. It's called. It's a screen that goes in here with readout digital display of your temperature and your status and everything that goes in there. I have one, but alas, I have not figured out using it yet. Someday. Okay, we're just going to see if these things are lined up right, and I don't think they're lined up correct. Okay, these are not going in. So let me just check my alignment here. Make sure everything is up where it should be, because these should be catching threads deep inside, and these are the same ones that came out. I think that one did. It did, which means this one should be lined up now as well. Hey, Will De Silva. And there we go. Okay, hot end is back together. And the cutter is here. And the cutter lever is working. Nothing is interfering with it, which is good. Okay, let me get a little bit of rise going on here. How do I raise this camera up? Let's just, I don't want to, oh, I see the legs. Do the legs extend? Oh, the legs extend. Oh, I see. Okay, there we go. Cool. I've not used this for this yet. Did I do that evenly? I think I did. Okay. Or did I? Oh, I think, oh, and then I can come up like this. And then I can come up like this. And this bottom one's a little bit too long. There we go. Look at that. Now I can give you a bird's eye view of what I'm doing now. So now we're just going to plug in. Oh, it helps if I turn the camera. We're going to connect the cable chain back on here under the back. Oh, we can get a little higher here. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I'm still live on here, Tim. You're just making everybody real dizzy now. Sorry about that, guys. In true Canadian fashion, sorry. Okay, now we're going to plug in this cable bundle right here. And then we're going to plug in this second cable bundle right here. Okay, and then we're going to take and basically attach our drag chain back to that drag chain holder there. So that required the two tiny little M36. Just gotta grab my little hex key. Okay. Might have been easier to do this with the cables off, and I just dropped. Oh man. Yeah, I think it's going to be easier to attach this and then plug the cables in after. Come on. And there goes a screw down to the bottom of my printer somewhere. Oh well. The struggle is real. That way I can move these. And that white cable, just so you know, is the cable for the that's for the beacon probe. So we got that one in. And I got to get another one from my kit because I dropped the other one. Fortunately, I have tons of them. And this one here in, there we go. So where did that beacon probe one come out of? Okay, we'll figure that out in a minute. Now we'll plug this bundle in. That's better. And that one. And then we'll just figure out how this beacon one, yeah, I like having the sides off so I can reach in through the sides. That helps too. Okay. I just gotta quickly scoot under here and plug the beacon probe back onto where it's supposed to go. So I'm gonna switch this back because the beacon probe one's a little fussy to get plugged in underneath here. There we go. So now, yeah, I'm gonna get my, oh man, I gotta get my head right in there. Okay, so bear with me 1 second here. There we go. It's in. It's in. Okay, so now, just to make sure everything's working right before we go any further, I'm going to power the printer up. Get out of my way, camera. There we go. That's better. Hey, Rob H. We're going to power the printer up, and then we're going to place this. But I just want to make sure before I go any further that I haven't totally messed anything up here. So let's go ahead and see what goes on. Make sure I can heat up the hot end, make sure all the fans are running. And then we can go on from there. And so yeah, the Nomi thing that you were talking about. So to make up for not having the Nomi, here we go. That's kind of why I put in, well, it's not kind of why, but that's why I have Klipper screen. Nice big 7-inch Klipper screen on this guy. So everything looks like it's working. I'm not going to bother with the, let's go ahead and move, let's home everything. And I'm going to be really safe, and just in case I got that Beacon Pro plugged in backwards, but I'm pretty sure I got that plugged in okay. We're going to make sure that this home's okay. Yeah, yeah. We got the Beacon Pro plugged in properly, so everything homed fine. Okay. So now we're going to move the Z. Go back to move. Let's get the Z up out of the way. Everything's moving fine. Okay, good. Now I'm just going to double check. There we go. And now we're just going to double check to make sure the hot end and everything's working. You assume the cutter was on the turtle, not the printer. The troubleshooting the feed as it jammed on another stream was a joke. More bad decisions as well. Ah, so you're saying it's a pain in the arse being on the hot end as opposed to the turtle itself? We'll see what happens. You know, open to a challenge. I'm going to go back and turn the extruder on. Let's heat it up to 150. See if it. Yeah, hot end fan came on. We're good, and the hot end is. I think it's heating. I think it's getting hot. Yeah, it's getting hot. Yeah, that's working. Okay, let's cool that down. And the heater bed. We'll go to, say, 60. No, not the heater. The heater bed. Go down. There we are, 60. Side fans kicked in. And that's no reason that shouldn't be working because we didn't touch it. So everything's fine there. I'm just going to check the part cooling fan. Where's my fans? Fan, hot end fan, this fan. And part cooling fan is working fine. Okay, good. Shut that off. That's why I like Klipper screen on the big display here, because everything is at your fingertips right here. And this is the 7-inch BTT touchscreen connected to the Raspberry Pi. There's a cutter for the turtle if you want to do it that way. You have to control a servo though. That makes it a little too complicated. That sounds a little too complicated for me. Okay, passed all its tests. Everything seems to be working fine. So now I think it's just a matter of what was next in the instructions. I don't think there's anything after this. We've done the Filamatrix AT brush. That's new. That wasn't in there before. Let's have a look. This is new. So this is obviously a brush for brushing off your hot end prior to printing, just like they kind of have on the bamboos. Okay, that's a brand new section, guys. I've not seen that. We'll have to do that once everything's all put together. That's it. So that's all the instructions I get, other than we're going to be finding, let's see, I believe it is, there's going to be a section here where I go to download the configuration for the Klipper configuration for the printer configs with all that stuff I got to do. Where are those links? GitHub. There was a direct link here somewhere. And it was probably at the end of this manual, at the end of the final. 2, 3, 4, 5. No, okay, those links are in here somewhere. Hey, 3D Medic Vince. I'll find it. I'll find it. It was somewhere. It was probably on the GitHub. Let me check the GitHub out. STL's CAD wiring. I'm looking for what I've got to do to the Klipper configuration now is what I'm looking for. Okay, we've got all this. We did all this stuff. And BoxTurtle sourcing vendors. No. Initial startup guide. There we go. I think this is what we need. Ah, there we go. I think this is a section we're going to need right here. Okay. So we'll look at that in a minute. So meantime, I forgot I got to put this in. Now the real fun starts, configuration. Yeah. So for now, I'm just going to stick this on. This one here is going to go on the Y rail. I'm sure that's where it's going. Yeah, is on this Y rail. And then that's when the head comes. Oh, this is all locked in now. But the head's going to come over, hit this to cut the filament. So let me just grab this real quick. And I believe this was, I lost my mouse. Let me just quickly go back here. And yeah, we need the M3 see above for length. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the length for these, this is the mounting of this piece here. M3 by 12s, no backers, M3 by specific printer. Depending, no backers, M3 by 12, titanium backers. I don't have titanium backers, so we're going to be doing M3 by 10s. And they are MGN9 rails, M3 by 10s, M3 washers, beefy depressor mount, and we're going to need some drop-in nuts. Okay. So we have those. I don't know if it's me. Here, where? All right, no, wrong one. I don't know if it's me, but I got a lot of spare parts. I got a lot of spare parts, and I don't know if I missed something. So we'll grab a couple of these. These are the drop-ins. I'd rather have the hammerheads. I guess the drop-ins are fine. These will probably be fine. These are always a pain in the butt sometimes for me to get in there in the rail, but we'll see. Especially if it's with that glass, with that panel in the way, I'm going to have to drop them in the other way. That way, and there we go. There's one of them. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing here. Hang on. I'm making you dizzy, I know. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. Oh, that's better. Look at that. Almost. And we'll drop this one in. That's real professional video work there, guys. And there we go. So those two are in. Okay. Why are you not focusing where I want you to focus? Huh. Fussy thing. You're supposed to focus right there. Right there. Sort of like that. M310s. Just going to grab a couple. There we are. Okay, it's going to be a little tight to get in here. First of all, let me just get those spread to the right distance. Right about there. See, this would be easy with that side panel off, but we'll make it work. Now, see if I line this hole up correctly. You know what? Just give me a second. I'm going to take that side panel off. Here. I'm going to remove this side panel. You can hardly see me, but I'm going to remove this side panel. And it's easy, fortunately, because we have the quick release clips on it. And then we can put that back on when we're done here. There we go. That comes off so quick. And then I'll just switch the camera view again. And that way now I can reach in from this side and see exactly what I'm doing here. That's easier. So we'll just fix this in this position right here for now. Right like that, no problem. Not even going to put that panel back on yet until that gets adjusted later. There we go. Get her on. What are the main components for the BoxTurtle? Like all the parts, the main component. This is the main component right here for the BoxTurtle. So basically your typical AMS, if you want to call it. And then all the, then there's all the parts inside. And my very first video, as Jerry just said there, my very first video, I do an unboxing to show you all the components and everything that's involved in it. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, whoops. Yeah, I recommend if you can, remove your sides. It's a lot easier to work inside here if your sides are removed. Hence why I put the quick release clips on it initially. So, okay. Now comes the fun, depending on your perspective, the fun or the boring part is the configuration. Another 30 minutes, we're doing a Polymaker draw. So if you're just getting here, oh, and just, those are all spare parts. And that's not including the spare parts bag. So I don't know what all these spare parts are for. Anyways, gee, I missed putting something in, didn't I? Wow. Anyways, up in the top, pinned at the top of the chat is a link to go ahead for a forum where you can enter the Polymaker draw. It's also listed in the description, first thing in the description. And as of now, we have, drum roll, we have how many entries? We have 36 entries so far. So go ahead, 52 people watching, 54 people watching, 36 entries into the draw. Go ahead and enter that draw again. Pinned to the top of the chat or down in the description. Board is the brain, and it's only made by them. I think someone will port the BTT board for it. The board is the brain, yeah. You know what, the thing with kits, a lot of people, I've heard people say, why don't I just self-source anything because the kit is so expensive, I can self-source everything. Thing with self-sourcing, and I thought the same thing when I built the Vorons. The thing with self-sourcing is how many shipping charges are you willing to pay? You might find your overall parts cost you X amount of money for all the parts, but you're getting from vendor A, vendor B, vendor C, vendor D, vendor E, etc., or whatever. How many shipping fees are you going to pay? You've got to get your wire, you've got to connect your wires, you've got to make all your wire connections, etc., etc. Whereas when you buy the kit, that's all done. That is all done for you. Sadly have to go, but I also messed up and entered it, but I can't win anyway, so good luck, everyone. Okay, Shadowfang, take care. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Taking the AMS part, filament cutter, etc. Okay, interesting. So you're basically going to take AMS parts and make your own, which is great. So let's go ahead and see what's going on next here. Okay, this is where, and just forgive me, everybody, this is where I'm going to lose viewers until after the draw. But this is where I usually lose viewers because this is where I know nothing. I just follow instructions and hopefully we luck out and get things done. So let's see what happens. Good luck to you all. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Good luck to you too, Edward. Here we go. You entered wrong too, but staying just in case you win. Okay. Calibrate to an existing printer. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to do that as we go. Ensure minimum system requirements. If you're a Klipper, okay, we've got all this stuff up. Flashing AFC, make note of any toolhead sensor pins. If you're using FilMatrix and are using toolhead end stop sensors, make note of what MCU pins those sensors are connected. For pre-extruder gear sensor, aka pin tool start, pre-extruder gear sensor, and post-extruder gear sensor. Okay, if you do not have a native toolhead filament sensor, you can use either an inline filament sensor, okay, or the turtleneck buffer as a virtual toolhead end stop. Please see this guide for more details. Well, we do have the, hey, Brent Ferguson. So I do have the buffer, so it can be used as a virtual toolhead end stop. That's interesting. But we are using a toolhead end stop sensor. I guess that's maybe that filament sensor that we talked about putting in the Hotend. But I don't have a pre and a post gear sensor. So okay, let's just keep reading this, see what's going on. BoxTurtle works best with the AFC Klipper add-on. The rest of this guide will focus on configuring AFC for use with BoxTurtle. Okay. I'm just going to have a quick look at this guide here they talk about. Automatic filament control buffer RAM sensor. This file describes using the filament buffer as a RAM sensor. This is part of the Armored Turtle Automated Filament Control project. Okay. The filament loading and unloading use these two sensor designs to evaluate the position of the filament. Basic functionality. During tool load, filament will travel to the buffer sensor, then execute the AFC Bowden length to the tool head. If the buffer is expanded after the AFC Bowden length is complete, then it will move forward with the tool load. If the buffer is not expanded, okay, so I'm thinking here, this is a case where I think it's going to ask for the length of your Bowden tube, which I think I can eliminate that with that sensor in the Hotend. I'm going to look into that more, but for now I'm going to go back and I'm going to basically do the Klipper add-on for now just to make sure. But I think what I've got to do first is I think I need to actually connect the BoxTurtle to the printer so it knows it's connected. You put your real name in, not your YB name. Okay, well, if your real name comes up, and you know, we will ask. Don't worry about that. Okay, I'm going to shut the printer down, turn it off. I'm going to connect the BoxTurtle and the buffer. So let me shut down. This is the part that I struggle with, which is okay. This is how you learn. Let me move my cassette tape off the top of that. That's I made myself a mixed tape. So you don't need the ramming stuff. Your sensor in the hot end does it all for you. Aha, that's what I thought. Okay, so I'm gonna put this up here. Oh, one thing I got to do first is I want to take the these plugs for the buffer, and I want to run them through here. I'll run them through there later. We'll do that after. Okay, so we need the power connected to this, and I think the power and the buffer and the USB-C onto the board. So let's just make sure I've got everything I need ready. So we'll put this up top. Okay, where is my USB? Is this going to reach? Yeah, my board is over here, so that's going to reach. So I'm going to go around this other side here. The wiring is not going to be the prettiest right now, but that's the least of my worries. This is just to get it up and running. So I'm going to lift this side. The USB-C plugs right in here. Oops, I'm going to turn that in the other way. Oh, come on. I'm not left-handed. There we go. Okay, so that plugs into there. And you can kind of see there, the USB-C plugs into the board there. Then my power, I made a power cable. Did I turn this off? Let's pop that off first. And the power cable goes right in here. Right there. Okay, so let's get the buffer out. Let's lay this down. So our buffer is going to mount to the printer eventually. And then we have these guys here. As I say, the wiring is not pretty yet, but we're going to straighten out all the wiring eventually. I need to get a longer USB cable for the data connection. Okay. Okay, now that that's all plugged in, and I can't see anything, we'll power up the printer. And the board is getting power too, which is good. Good. 24 volts going into the board on this. And there we go. So now we're just going to do some configuration. Are those filaments in the Polymaker Pop Blue and Pink? Polymaker Pop Blue, but the pink is actually bamboo filament. But it is Polymaker Pop Blue. Straighten the wiring later. Yeah, I've said that. I know, right? But I will. I promise I will straighten the wiring later. So definitely. Okay, so I don't need the ramming the stuff. So because I do have that sensor in the head, so we're not going to worry about that. Let's go back over here and have a look now. So I am using a FilMatrix and a blah, blah, blah. So I don't need to worry about the fila selector and the turtleneck buffer for doing that. Install the AFC Klipper add-on. Okay, BoxTurtle works best with AFC Klipper add-on. The rest of this guide will focus on configuring AFC with the BoxTurtle. Follow the instructions that GitHub for latest details on installation and configuration. But at the time of writing, this is the easy button. Aha, I like this. Okay, so we have to SSH into our Pi. We are lit up. Let me find out. Hopefully they haven't changed the IP address on me here. Why is that all of a sudden massive big? Oh, because I switched the, that's why, right there. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. So let me go ahead and SSH into the printer first. 10.0222 and good. We have We have our screen. It's finding the printer. Everything is good. No errors, nothing. Nothing. Now we're going to SSH into the Pi, and I use putty to SSH into the Pi. So, and I got to figure out how to make that text bigger again. I watched Dan did it for you, Jerry, and I just don't remember. So there's putty. Okay, so let's move this over to the other screen here. Let's just minimize everything right here for now, for the time being. There we go. That way I can share the screen, and here's putty. Let's get into the printer, 10.0.0.222. And there we are. It's Pi, and it's Raspberry Pi. Pi. Okay. Now there is a way. I'm just going to quickly figure this out. There's a way to make this text bigger so it's easier for you guys to read. And I believe it is hit the two little computers. And I believe it was change settings. And I do believe under change settings, it was default settings. No. Keyboard, terminal, logging, features. Features, appearance. Change the font. And I think we went to say 16 point. Okay. Apply. There we are. That's what it was. Okay, so now this should make life a little bit easier. Let me just shrink this window a hair. There we are. That way you guys can actually see what I'm doing. What time are we at? 6:35. Oh, 6:15. It's almost draw time. Okay, so we were here, and here. So step number one, CD. So we're going to copy, come back in here, and we're going to put that in here and go enter. Okay, done. So that did something about cloning into AFC Klipper add-on, blah, blah, blah. No idea I have no clue what we do here, what all this stuff means. I just know that I do what they say. You have the power supply and the printer on the same power line from the wall. Please be careful you do not draw too much power while you program in the board. Oh, okay, it is. I've not had a problem before. So, and it's a 20 amp circuit I'm on. Hold control and wheel up. Control. Oh, no, it doesn't work in this window. Then the default options for the part cut, kit wipe, and tip forming macros can be used if you don't know what to choose. These can all be changed later by editing the AFC config and doing a firmware restart. Fair enough. After installations, please ensure you update the following settings. Okay, these are in the config things. If your printer .config extruder section update settings, max extruder only distance to the 400. Okay, so that first self-test, that was it for installing it? Huh? Really? For best results, reboot your printer after installing the add-on and including your printer config and including it in your printer config. This will ensure all required modules are enabled. So I have to include AFC/AFC.config in my printer config. So let's do that now, and then we'll reboot. Copy. Read the bottom of that response. You'll need to do something there. Okay, the bottom of this response. No. Please run the below command and rerun this install script. Oh. So it wants me to run this. No, that's not what I'm doing. Run the bottom, run sudo apt get install. So take this, and I believe I right mouse click that, and go boom. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. I would have missed that. Thanks, Steve. Okay. I would have wondered. I would have been here going, huh? That's why you guys are here, because I'm really dumb when it comes to this stuff. Did that finish? And am I missing the bottom of the screen here? It did finish. So we want to go and rerun this. Okay. Oh, there we are. Ah, that's much prettier. Okay, enter my choice. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Printer config directory. Okay, this installation script will install, update AFC Klipper. Extension to your system, Discord, blah, blah, blah. Prior AFC Klipper add-on installation, detected, false. Force update required, true. Okay. Okay, so this is where I want to check. Okay, so I want either printer config directory, home printer data config, Moonraker config, Klipper directory, home Pi Klipper, Moonraker config file, Klipper service name, AFC Klipper add-on branch, main. Select a number to change the default value. So what do I want to do here? AFC installation options. Type a number or letter and press enter. Return to toggle choice. Is it telling me anything here? Let's see. I don't have CAN bus. I'm using serial for USB, so now I'm a little bit lost. What number do I want to push here, folks? Or do I want to do them all? Install AFC Klipper add-on. Remove AFC Klipper add-on. Exit. So I want to install. So I. Add the AFC includes your printer config automatically. True. Okay, maybe I didn't do. Okay, please enter the pin numbers for the turtleneck buffer, TN. Leave blank to use default values. Ensure you use pull-up if you are using AFC and end stop pin. Enter the advanced pin. This stuff drives me nuts. Enter advanced pin. So I'm using default values because I'm putting it in the buffer where they told me to put it, or I'm putting it in the board where they told me to put it in. So I'm using default values. So I would hit enter. Enter the trailing pin, default for Turtle 1 trailing pin. So again, enter. Okay. AFC configuration updated with selected options at home/printer AFC config, AFC Klipper add-on Python extensions installed to home Pi, Klipper, Clippy extras. Ensure you enter either your CAN bus or serial information on the home Pi printer data config, AFC Turtle 1 config file. You may now quit this script or return to the main menu. Please review the following options to configure your system. Type a number or letter and press enter, return to toggle. Return to main menu or quit. So I want to go to main menu. Okay. Okay, Tuxedo, what next? Hello, Tuxedo. Okay, so I've done that so far. Now, that looks okay so far. Okay, so we have to add something in the config file as well, but am I done in here? It says true now. Yes. AFC Klipper add-on installation detected, true. Force update required, true. Okay. Just got here. Okay. Okay, so I think I've done everything right so far. I think I can, I don't want to remove it, so I can exit now. I think everything is correct here now. I'm pretty sure everything is correct. So Q to exit. Okay. Now I want to do a sudo restart. Is sudo quit, sudo shutdown, sudo restart, sudo quit, sudo shutdown. To shut down my printer? No. Oh yeah, it's scheduled to shut down at 18:25, which is in 1 minute. You shut down C to cancel. How do I tell it to shut down immediately? I always get a kick out of this. What did I miss? I'm late to the party. You missed nothing. We're just trying to program put the BoxTurtle AFC into the Klipper, the AFC add-on into Klipper. Get the BoxTurtle working. And we did put the Hotend back together with the Filamatrix with the filament cutter in it. And my printer should shut down in about a minute, according to the display up there. Just me learning crap and learning how to read. Well, that sounds awful. Sudo shutdown /R now. Really? Remote site unexpectedly. Oh, it's already it beat me to it. It's already shut down. Okay. Now we got to restart the printer. Okay. So we should have an AFC config section now. Okay, we're firing up, loading. Oh, I forgot to put this piece on my Hotend. That's all right, no big deal. I like an open Hotend anyways. Now is for immediate reboot. R. Oh, okay. Shut down now. Okay, let's see if we are booted up in mainsail, and we are. So here we are. Let me move this screen. This screen's a little far away from me. Let me move this a little closer to me. There we go. That's better. Oh, I can see it now. Okay, let's check out the machine. We have an AFC Turtle 1 config right there. So we did get our config file in here. And then in our printer config, look at all these printer backups. March 6th, March 7th. I'm going to get rid of a couple of these. I don't need so many, and I do regular backups anyways. Get rid of a couple of those. There we go. So printer config. I'm going to have to do an include section. So I'm going to include, if I'm not mistaken, I have to include AFC Turtle 1 config. Okay. AFC Turtle 1 config. AFC underscore, was it an underscore? I think it was an underscore, or was it a dash? Turtle 1.config. I think that's what it was. When is the giveaway? In about 3 minutes. AFC underscore turtle underscore 1.config. And it must have been right because it didn't error out. Oh, it did error out on me. AFC turtle 1.config. Oh, I need to put it to the directory. AFC, oh, AFC/AFC. Ah. AFC/AFC. Okay. Duh. I'm going to point it to the right directory. Here we go, AFC/AFC turtle config. That should work. No, what am I doing wrong? Unknown config object, AFC. Okay. Let's go back to here. AFC/AFC config. But I have turtle 1. Yeah, what Tuxedo says, include AFC/star.config. Oh, really? Okay, so go back to the printer config. Include AFC star/star config. AFC/star .config. Okay. So that basically includes any config file in that directory is what you were telling it to do. Okay, let's see what that does. No errors. Look at that. Look at, oh. Invalid CAN UUID. Okay, so here we go. This is where we have to go into this configuration file and configure it. So it said here, so serial. In AFC config, CAN bus UUID if using CAN bus, serial if using USB. So we are using USB. Okay, so let's find out where we are here. CAN bus UUID, and this is going to be serial. Let's just see if I need the colon there. No, we need serial. Serial. Replace with your dev serial by ID. Oh, I got to find my ID now, don't I? Okay. Well, let's make sure that that part works. And I probably have to... Yeah, I got to find my dev. Yeah. And I never forget that. I always forget that code. So I'm going to copy you there. Thank you. Yeah, I got to copy this code. I never forget it. I'm going to leave it there and copy it for a second. The serial structure is stated below. Okay. Told you guys this stuff takes me a little bit. So let me SSH in here again. Okay. Okay, let's get in here. We'll do this, then we'll get the draw going. Okay. And so I want ls/dev/serial/byid. No such file or directory. ls/dev/serial by. Do I have to change a directory to? You don't need the SSH anymore. I don't. Why? You can find it in main sale. Open the file at the top. You'll find devices. Oh, really? Okay, let's find out. Let's see where. At the top, what Jack says, you don't need it. You can find it on main sale. Open a file, and on the top, you will find devices. No, hang on. Bear with me 1 second. Oops, I think I know where you mean. Main sale. Devices. Serial. Oh, I didn't know this existed. Okay, so which one? Beacon, Klipper platform, serial dev. Go to USB. Okay. Which one? Bottom one is the STM723. This one right here. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. I didn't know you could go in here. This saves me a lot of time down the road. Perfect. So I can get rid of this. I can uncomment this. And I can put my in here. Oops, and put that back in. And save and restart. I think we got it. Possibly we got it. Or was I supposed to put those marks in there? Let's just see. How does this other one look? Oh, no, I don't. Oh, those marks shouldn't have been in there. Okay, my bad. My bad. So that's in here, and I got to get rid of this. Oops, it's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to get rid of that and get rid of this one. That should be right. Nothing after the IF00. There we go. Okay. Yeah, and I can get rid of it. Instead of commenting out that out, I can just get rid of that. Okay. Okay, unknown is not a valid pin name on the MCU. Okay, so obviously I've got to go and do some more configuring in here. Okay. Okay, so for now, we're going to just pause here for now. We're going to do the draw. Let's just give this a little pause, take a little break here. Where are we back here? Okay, let's do the draw. Since everybody has been so patient, how do I get rid of that? Let's see. I've got to there we are. There we are. Main config. Same difference. Main config. You find the building of the BoxTurtle is harder than software install and setup, or vice versa? Tintalon, vice versa. Some people excel at the software install and what we're doing right now in the configuration. I get stumped. If it wasn't for you guys in chat, I'd be way behind. So I find the building process super simple compared to the configuration myself. Mind you, I did manage to rebuild my printer configuration for the Voron all on my own, just from past experience and from learning to slow down while I'm reading. So let's hope Will De Silva will win today. Okay, so we're going to close the draw. I'm going to give, in case somebody's just popped in, because we have 66 people watching, in the top right of the chat, there is a pinned comment, and that's a link to enter the Polymaker draw, which we're going to do in a minute now, or it's down in the description. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. It's 6:38 on my clock. I'm going to give it till my clock turns to 6:40. If you haven't entered the draw, go ahead and enter it, because right at 6:40 on the dot, I'm going to close the draw, and we're going to do the draw. Close the entry, and we're going to do the draw. Seems to be a case a lot. The software seems difficult, at least from what I have seen watching many of them being built. Yeah. I am 0 on the building process. I would take 6 months to finish it. Do the ls dev/dev again. I'll have to look at that. Remind me, Jack Black, after the draw that we do that. We'll have a look and see what's going on. But go ahead, enter the draw. You got another, looks like another 1 minute from now. It just turned to 6:39, so 1 minute we'll do the draw. Uno minuto. We're going to draw for $35 gift card in the Polymaker store. And I believe that's US, and I don't know how they convert that to Canada if you're in Canada, but it's a $35 US gift card, from what I understand. LSA dev serial by ID. Does my form allow multiple entries? It does not. So if you're not sure you entered it, go ahead, do it. You've got about 30 seconds. Okay, you guys are going to have to remind me about that LS dev serial by ID again in a minute. We'll have to go in through SSH to do that, obviously. Okay, we have turned to 6:40. I'm going to slowly go close the draw in case anybody's doing a last second entry. It looks like we have, right now, we have a current 58 entries. That's a big jump from 36. I'm slowly going to close the draw. I'm going to go and I'm going to click. You had lots of warning and done. The draw is closed. We're going to go grab the names. Bear with me as I do this. Da-da-da-da. And we're going to grab all these names. We're going to export every entry. And the list is downloaded. Okay. I'm going to grab the list. Chat will be out of my 35 US converts to 49 Canadian. Yeah, it doesn't surprise, not more. I'm going to download the list. Give me 1 second. Oops. Why did that open up? There we are. Okay. I just clicked the wrong button, that's all. And we're going to open the giveaway list. Spreadsheet is opening. We're going to copy the YouTube names. There we are. And Command C. Okay. And then we need you guys to witness everything that's going on here. So, oh, come on. Why does it do this to me? Why will you not open up the proper window where I want you to open it up? Stop. Okay, something is, my computer is being really weird here. Okay, hang on, bear with me 1 second. What's going on here? Why are you doing this? Hang on, just give me a sec. It's not letting me open my window back up. There it is. Now it let me open the window back up. Okay. There we are. Okay, are you guys ready? There is our blank Polymaker wheel. We don't need to see advertising. Let's close that. We're going to paste everybody's name in here right now. Boom. Everybody is on the poly wheel. Okay. I'm going to pick a random number between, somebody give me a number. I'm going to take the fourth one, sixth person to comment a number between 1 and 15. The sixth person between 1 and 15. Okay, we already got it. 1, 2. Jose, you can't do it twice. It doesn't count. You can't do it 3 times, Jose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth person is Oh my God, it's going 12 was a 6-1. 12. Okay, stop now. Stop commenting. 12 is a lucky number. We're going to shuffle the wheel 12 times. Smash the like button. I bet I know who that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. 42. And the winner of Polymaker is... Oh, so close. Frank Arcos. Frank Arcos. Are you in stream, Frank Arcos? Da, 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 da. Frank Arcos, are you on stream? Say something. Say something. There he is, Frank Arcos. Congratulations. Congratulations. You won some Polymaker. Frank, I have your information. I will email you tomorrow morning. I'm going to email you a link and a code to claim your prize. Congratulations, Frank. Awesome. Okay. That is done. And we have a new winner. That's awesome. I like when new people win. New winners. Okay, so now we have to go back and we're going to be doing some SSHing apparently. Apparently some LS by dev or something like that. Let's go ahead and do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, let's do that. Pi. For some reason you want me to do this. And I'm not one to question it. So let's pull this over. Didn't keep my font size from my last session, so that's weird. Huh. Okay, so what was it? Let me scroll back up if I can and see what that was you wanted me to type in. I think it was tuxedo. Somebody told me. Oh, it was Will De Silva. So you said to type this in. LS dash space dash A slash dev slash serial slash by dash ID slash star. Invalid option. Okay, let's just catch up on chat here. You were due. Yes, you were due, Frank. There you go. Are you gay? No, I'm not gay. Thank you for asking, though. Let's see. Nothing came up for that. So here, I'll just share this screen again. Here. So we did an LS-A serial by ID slash. And it said invalid LS invalid option. Try LS dash dash help. Typo. Did I do a typo? Bye, Skull Army, if you're leaving. Bye. Oh, I see what I spelled wrong. Still says invalid option for the slash. Need a space between A and the slash. Oh, okay. Okay. There we are. Okay, Klipper. So it's going to be the second one here, right here. Because we got our beacon, we have our Klipper, and then we have this one, which is the 32H723. So we'll copy that. I think I'll copy right mouse click. Anyways, see if we can get back to the. Oh, there's. See, we'll get back to the wheel, and we'll get back to here. And in here, it should be. We'll replace that with whatever's here. How's that? Does it change? I think it changed. I don't know. Let's see. Use the arrow up to repeat previous command. Yeah, okay. So we have an unknown is not a valid pin name on an MCU. No, I'm assuming that's coming from in here somewhere. So what did I do? MCU Turtle 1. There's a pin with that name. Look for this. Unknown. A pin with the name unknown. Unknown. Let's see. Not in here, there's not. You need to be in the right directory. You didn't save it. There's a pin with that name. Look for this. We'll figure it out. But it says it's on the MCU. I don't think it's anything to do with the printer config file. It's got to be in the. It's got to be in here somewhere. Is there another MCU? No, there's not. There's just the one MCU. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to go Control F. No, I'm missing something. See what you guys are saying. Hey, red light. Now I'm missing something here. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out eventually with your help and everything. But so that the error is unknown is not a valid pin name on MCU. Once the underlying is restart, not a valid pin name on MCU. It's got a couple updates over here. I don't dare touch them. I don't dare touch them because every time I do updates over here, it always messes me up. I think I do have that, Joe Rust, yes. What's everybody saying here? So yeah, I did. My printer config does have include afc/star.config. So it's including that config file, which is this one right here. We got our serial dev by serial number here. Fill out find as unknown. 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 There's no unknown in here. Don't know where it's getting that from. Unknown is not a valid pin name on the MCU. I know it's not, but I don't see where I have unknown in my MCU as a pin name. Check another file. Just type ls and you can see the directory. Type ls where? Not going to be in Moonraker config. It's not going to be in the printer config, I don't believe. Not in the printer config. We have a lot of different config files. Klipper screen config, mainsail config, Moonraker conf, sonar, time-lapse config, printer. These are backups. Read-only mainsail config. What else do we have here? Crow's Nest, mainsail config. Yeah. One of the new files that just got added. Absolutely. What Jack says. It's got to be in Turtle. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be in Turtle. I would think it's got to be in here. Now, if I do a search for unknown, there is no unknown listed in there. It's not showing up at all. But it says unknown as an invalid. Oops, didn't want to do that. My boot, my bad. Unknown is not a valid pin name. Once again, can we start? Okay, I'm just trying to keep up with the chat as you guys go here. You can comment out that include if it gives you the same error it's picking up elsewhere. That's a good thought. Okay, how about MCU? So you're so long behind. I'm so long behind, I know. Trying to keep up with all the comments. I'm sorry if I miss your comment and your suggestion to try. But yeah, if I, the one suggestion was to comment out the include, comment this out, see if that error still comes up. And that error is not coming up. So it's definitely something to do with that config file. So we'll go back to the printer. We'll basically bring that include back in. So it's definitely to do with the config file. So there we are. That's the error there. Add the address from the SSH over to your window. Yep, it has to be in the Turtle 1 config. You're blocking this error message so we can't see it all. Oh, I see. Okay, here, let me fix that. Let me fix that. There, I'll take myself right out of the picture. Add the address from the SSH over to your window. Looks like you're missing a few configs and folders. What's it saying? Is there something in here I should have been doing? No, okay. Looks AFC hardware config. Looks like I'm missing a hardware config file. Okay, let me get back in and see. Let's just get back into the putty. Okay. Get back in here and we'll try. It's definitely AFC under MCU. Sorry, I'm just trying to, I'm reading all the comments, but there's so many different suggestions. And let me just catch up here. Okay, so let's. No worries, Jack. I appreciate everybody. Maybe that's why the installer said to force an update. Let's go. Let's just go through that once more. Let's do one more thing here. Can't hurt to reinvent the wheel. Let's have a look here. Okay, see you, Edward. Take care. Did not put all the files where they need to be, especially the macros. Yeah, I'm just going to go through this again. It says, so update required, false. AFC Klipper add-on installation detected, true. Okay, I don't need to change any of the default directories. I can remove it and then reinstall it. I can do U for update. Update the AFC Klipper add-on, enter my choice. Okay, so I take it that it's updated. M, return to main menu. Not found. Q to quit. Not found. See, so it kind of boots me out of that thing every time. Yeah, okay, so let's just play devil's advocate here. Let's remove the add-on and reinstall the add-on. See, it's not letting me do anything. Now, it shouldn't detect the add-on if I removed it. Okay, so it's not detecting the add-on, so it did remove, okay. So, let's reinstall the add-on. Here, I'm just trying to make my window a little more. There we go. Install the add-on. And install system with current selections. Tool head, sensor pin, so A. Oh, I don't know what the pin is for that yet. I'll have to do that after. Buffer type turtleneck. Everything else should be fine. Tip forming false. Installation type box turtle. Enable the kick macro true. So let's go ahead and do install. Please enter the pin numbers. We're going to use the standard pin numbers. AFC configuration updated with the selected options. Okay, there's our config file. AFC Klipper Python add-on to home, Klipper extras. And then we have AFC1 config file. Please review the following options. Your configure system, type a number or letter, and press enter to return to the toggle switch. We're going to return to main menu. Now my Klipper add-on has been detected. True. Force update required. True. How do we do a force update? Or do I have to? Now, maybe that's the issue. Maybe I have to do these updates. Maybe that's an issue. Let's just do these updates. Because these updates didn't occur until after I did this AFC add-on. We're going to do some updates. That's not what I wanted. See if I can crash my system. With update Moonraker. Okay, it's rebooting, which is fine. Okay, and do our system updates. It did say to force updates, so I'm forcing these updates. It'll either work or it'll freeze me out of my system, and it'll be sayonara till next week. Oh, let's let this work. These system updates can take a while. You haven't even finished building your box turtle. You're stuck. Your Trident extruder's not playing nice and kicking your butt. Oh, no. It will work, but you'll have to edit the config again. Yeah, that's no problem. I had to rebuild my whole printer config because I made the dumb mistake of updating it, and then I really messed it up, and I had to reflash my Pi and yada, 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 and I didn't save my printer config back up. But that's okay. Lesson learned. Oh, we dropped from 60 to 43 people. See, this, as I say, this is the boring part. We're blowing through these system updates, 136 packages to update. Holy cow. How's my battery doing on my mics? Oh, that's pretty good. Well, this is as I say, this is the hardest part. The build is done. This is the hardest part. It's live and learn in this hobby. It is. You're still there, Mark? My goodness, it's going to be late for you. Well, only 9 o'clock, so. So here we go. Here we are at the updates. We're still doing the system updates. They take a while. I'd say 3-4 minutes. When you do these, you just cross your fingers, your legs, your eyes, everything you can, and hope that it doesn't bring your system down for some reason. But it's usually easy to fix. Okay, now we got a reboot going on. Klipper's encountered an error. Firmware restart may fix the issue. Of course it will. Oh, that's on my Klipper screen. Oh, it's still going. Yeah, you got the error up at the top. You can see that. So yeah, I definitely got to go in and redo the config thing. Another question about the pink filament. Is it PLA, Frank? The pink filament in my BoxTurtle is PLA. I did do PLA for the inserts, for the tray inserts. The rest of it is ASA. My mic battery percentage, it's probably around 60%. It doesn't actually list a percentage on this little thing, on the Rode thing, so. Yes, grab the pin out of that board for pin. I have to figure out which, I have to figure out where my Hotend sensor is going to be. Oh, packages update is finished. Oh, it's finished. Where my Hotend filament sensor pin is going to. Let's restart. Okay. Now we can go back in here. Let's see, I'm sure that I've still got the include. Oh no, I dropped my include thing here too. So we're going to have to include. Let's go back. And I believe, no, hang on. I believe it was, did I just see 2 printer config files there? Why do I have 2 printer config files? What? One at 656, one at 702. How the heck did that happen? Huh? Well, I will keep the latest one. Let's rename this. I'm going to call that BAK. I don't know why I've got 2 printer config files. Weird. Look at the bottom of the printer config file. That's where the AFC install puts the include. Oh, okay. Why can it, this printer config file does not want to open, so that might be a bad file. Let's see if this was a good file. For some reason, I'm getting multiple printer config files. What's going on there? And when I change one to a back, it doesn't let the other one work. That is weird. That is weird. But when I change it back, the name works. You had that happen on an AFC install before. That's weird. Okay, well, let's see what's going on here. Let's find my serial on this one. I think I can get rid of this. I think that's disconnected. It is. But we found the serial before by going, we found the serial by going to Moonraker. Was it Moonraker or Mainsail? Moonraker. And devices. It was the bottom one, this one here. Oh. Okay. There we go. Pin. So that we got the same thing. Pin something, although it's not saying unknown. It's just saying pin blah is not a valid pin name in the MCU. So it's something in here. Should be a space there. I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. Let's just restart that just to be sure. Yeah, a little different. Pin blah. So it's looking for a pin. Scroll down. Let's do a search for all the pin and see where maybe we find an unknown pin. Keep going. We're right down to the bottom now. And there's no undefined pins. AFC Hub Turtle. I was under the impression BT would be using Happy Hair. I tried turning it off and back on again. I haven't yet, and I should. The system is corrupt at the moment. Restart and it should correct itself. Comment out the instruction. Comment out the instruction? What instruction? Where? Let's do a restart. Save and restart that. We'll do a shutdown and restart. Let's just see if that helps. Can't hurt. We'll let this start up again. That's all right. Get it figured out eventually. Oh, where it says replace with your ID. Yeah, that's already commented out or deleted, actually. Let's just see if this restart works. We're going to shut down here soon. I'll do some more investigating during the week if the restart doesn't work. We'll see what happens. It's just, again, this is just the way it works with me with the configuring the software. It's the hardest part. Yeah, so we restarted and we have the same error here. So I will do some investigating and asking around about this, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, that comment was, yeah, this one, I can get rid of this line actually. I don't need that line because we're not using CAN bus. So I can get rid of that altogether. Yeah. Do I still have duplicate configs? Let's see. I do. Printer config, printer config. And they both, yeah, that is weird. That's never happened to me before. But if I get rid of one, it screws the other one up. Let's see, if I make a change to one, let's just, for the fun of it, under include it, main cell config, let's just do a comment. This is a duplicate. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. See if that shows up in both printer configs. This is a duplicate. That's under the top one, bottom one. It's exactly the same. And top one, so it's duplicating my printer config for some reason, but they're both exactly the same. So I'm getting two files in one. Hey, Thunder keys, or Control F5. Shift reload or Control F5. Oh, Control F5. Control F5. There we are. Only one printer config now. But Thunder keys, glad you're here. Do you know what that error means right here? Up top. Pin, and it's not even labeled, it's not a valid pin name on MCU. MCU. Can't figure that out. It's a mainsail bug. Oh, I get it. Okay. So there's still something happening, and I cannot figure out what that's. It's something to do with the AFC config. Oh, there's a whole bunch more config files in here now, but I don't know where that error is coming from. Let's look at the AFC hardware config. AFC hardware config. Here we are. Right where? Right where? Where am I looking? You don't have a pin tool start defined. Pin tool start. Oh. So what should that be? Oh, no, okay. Is that the pin? Is that the pin that the sensor on my extruder is going to be plugged to? Is that what it is? And just for the record, none of that, all those configs were missing. So I reinstalled the Klipper AFC add-on, and then they all showed up. Okay, so I haven't defined that pin yet. Okay, I haven't traced down. So I remember when you were telling me in Jerry's stream where to plug that sensor in. And I haven't actually traced that wire or plugged it into any of my anywhere on my board yet, on my main board, because I don't know where to plug it. But I'll have to save that. But okay, well, that makes sense then. So everything's done right except that one pin is not defined. Okay, that makes sense. Read the pin out to find it. Now that is going to be plugged into my main board, obviously, into my octopus. And then I have to define which pin on the octopus that is plugged into. Is that correct? Just pick an unused end stop pin. Okay, I will do that. Oh, I'm glad you came along. It was driving me freaking nuts. But as I say, on my first attempt on the install, the only file that was showing up in the AFC directory was this config file here was the only one showing up. So I removed it and reinstalled it, and then all of these showed up. So obviously the first install didn't take. So that was the issue there. Needed a refresh. Okay. Okay, perfect. Appreciate that. Okay, well, this has been, I'm not going to say stressful, but it's been a very big learning evening for me. So I want to thank everybody that's helped me out along the way. I really appreciate all the suggestions. I mean, just keep them coming all the time. I get overwhelmed with them sometimes, but the install it's just a mainsail GUI bug. Okay. So if I had done the refresh, like you said, Control F5 or whatever, that's a Windows refresh. It would have all been there. Okay. 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 You're welcome, Frank, and I will be getting a hold of you tomorrow. So definitely watch out for that. So anyways, thank you. And thank you for showing up, Thunder Keys, and bringing all that information to my attention. I will find a spare end stop pin plug on my Octopus board, and we will get that pin in the right position on that. So thanks, everybody. I know the last half of this stream has been a little bit of a challenge for everybody to watch, because it's always hard to watch somebody struggling. And then and I appreciate all the advice coming at me, but sometimes it's like a fire hose and I just don't know which one to pick. So anyways, we will get this up and running. We'll get this pin out all figured out. And next week we'll finish configuring the software and hopefully get some testing going. So yeah. Okay, thanks everybody. Let me just go over here to my exit. And I will see everybody next Sunday at the same time, 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I appreciate that. And I'll try and get on your stream again next Saturday, Jerry. And everybody, thank you so much for all the help. You guys have been great. And I appreciate everybody all the time. Thanks a lot, and we'll catch everybody next time. Bye for now.